So, as Westworld Season 3 has officially premiered and I've seen it, it is my time to review it, and here it goes. So, the first thing is that this season is way different from Season 1 and Season 2. The last two seasons were basically about hosts gaining consciousness and questioning the existence of their reality and then taking over. And this season takes place in the future where everything is run by algorithms and stuff like that. Everything is, like there are so many android cars and motorcycles and stuff like that. Like everything is like everything can be controlled just by your voice and stuff like that, so it's very futuristic. So, after seeing the first episode, the first question that comes to my mind is it like Game of Thrones or it just become more like Watchmen? And the simple answer to that is no, it's not like Game of Thrones. Like Game of Thrones, when you watch it, you are aware that whatever is happening, you know who those characters are and what is happening, and you know why that character is doing that and that and anything whatever is happening, you know that. But when we watched the first episode or two episodes of Watchmen, we didn't really get the plot and we were so confused about whatever was happening on there. But then when the season really progressed, we understood the meaning of it, and then we got the plot and everything behind it. And I think this is the case which is happening in this season of Westworld, that in the first episode we don't really understand what is happening and why these characters are doing these things and stuff like that, and it's a bit confusing. The first known character who appears on screen is Dolores. I mean, of course, and she is in this season just going on killing people. I mean, not just any people, she's going on killing those people who did bad things to her when she was a host in the theme park Westworld, and she's just killing them. And she's also made a boyfriend. I mean, I know that she's faking it. So anyways, she is just trying to know about who controls a device which is made by her boyfriend's father, and what that device does. But eventually, by the end of this episode, we don't really get to know who controls that device and what that device does or anything of that sort. Then there's Caleb. Now, this character is, as you already know, is played by Aaron Paul, and it's a new character. And it's not really clear this is an android or a real person, but the way he is shown in this trailer, like constantly waking up every single day in the same posture, the way Dolores used to wake up in the first season, so by seeing that we can assume that he is an android. So yeah, like he doesn't do much, he just does some kind of things to earn money, some things like that. So anyway, he doesn't do much. Next, there is only one sequence where we see Charlotte. I mean, she was there for only one sequence in this episode, and in that sequence, she was in a board meeting and she was just talking about making more hosts and stuff like that, and other people were complaining and were like, no, we can't do that and things like that, you also can't do this. And they were also pointing at an empty chair and saying that you need to confirm from him because he is the boss or something like that. But then she didn't really care and she asked the AI, and the AI said she could, and then she finalized it. So we don't really know who that person is who was supposed to be on that chair, and we also don't know what Charlotte is up to. There's Bernard. Now, Bernard in this season is really interesting because now he possesses two different personalities. He has a device which he uses to swap between those two personalities. So sometimes he's Bernard and sometimes he's completely someone else. And by the end of this episode, he goes on to search for Westworld. He goes to a place and he asks some people to take him to Westworld, And like, it was really interesting when he said he wants to find Westworld. But the other thing which wasn't interesting is that the whole season takes place in a futuristic world, but the place he goes to is not futuristic at all. There's also one end credit scene in this episode, and we see Maeve only in that end credit scene. And what we see is that she wakes up on a chair, and then she finds out that in that same very room someone is lying dead, most probably, and the other person is tied to a chair and he is beaten up by someone very badly. Then she goes to the window and just removes the curtain, and she finds out that she's in a place which looks like Syria or something. I mean, I'm not sure. I mean, there are buildings with banners of the sign of swastika, so I'm not sure what that meant and where she is. But yeah, so that was the end of this episode, and that's the one time we see Maeve. At the end, I have to say that they've thrown in so many things in this first episode, and I really hope that these questions will be answered later on in this season, and I'm really hoping to see them.